damaging winds and a tornado warning with this particular storm. I'm going to come on down here and see if I can go ahead and put this into a velocity mode and take a peek at what's going on with it, simply because these storms so far have just been big rainmakers, and they just started with the gusty winds. So that is something that we've kind of just gotten into. We are actually looking at the possibility of tornadoes today. We do have spin in the atmosphere, a lot of shear, and we have this front that's just sort of sitting on top of us. It's a little disturbance. We have another front coming through tonight. But until then, we're going to be dealing with this line of storms, which is very slowly making its way through the area. So let's go ahead and zoom in and see if there is a little bit more definition here with this particular warning. If you can see more of a couplet that's out here with it, and you actually can see a bit of a couplet, and it is right in this area. So you can actually see some of the green and the red side by side. That's a couplet where you have the inbound and outbound winds. So you can see that in here, and that's what they're looking at. They're looking at that rotation right there, and they're saying, okay, look, we're getting some spin. This is radar indicated. This has not been observed. This has not touched down yet, but this is something that they are watching very closely. That's why the tornado warning has been issued until 2:30, because we are watching to see exactly where this storm is going to go, where it's going to set up next. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these into motion here. I want you to kind of get an idea of what has been going on with this particular storm. This is a loop that is just about, an hour or 30 minutes long. This storm has been in this vicinity now for hours, and it has dumped a lot of rain. We do have flash flood warnings associated with it, and now we do have this particular area of the storm that has a tornado warning associated with it, and it also has a severe thunderstorm associated with it. So large hail is very possible with this particular storm. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put a track on this storm right here. I'll redraw this track. This was drawn for the severe thunderstorm warning that was out there, but now we're going to go ahead and put on a brand new track so that you can get an idea of where this whole thing is moving. Again, it is going to be moving to the east at about 15 miles an hour. So this is a slow mover. It is not a fast moving system, not by any means. And it is this area of the storm right in here that we are watching so closely. So at about 15 miles an hour, here is where this storm is going to be. If you live in Mannington, you are going to want to take shelter immediately. This storm is going to be headed your way. Also Pittsgrove, Deerfield, Shiloh, this is going to be moving in your direction. Cobb's Mill, this is where the storm is headed, and it is going to be there within the next half hour. So again, let's say Upper Pittsgrove at 225, Alloway Junction at 216, Deerfield at 241, and we're looking at Pittsgrove at 252 and Shiloh at 259. So as this storm approaches, because this has not only flooding rains, if it does have any type of a tornado, it is going to be rain wrapped. Do not go out. Don't try to take a picture of it. You're not going to see anything. There is so much rain associated with this, and a lot of lightning that is associated with this particular storm. And it has been sitting in the same place, dumping copious amounts of rain and a lot of lightning with it. So that has been the biggest concern with all of this, is the amounts of lightning coming out of this particular storm. Let's go back in and take another look at what's going on with this velocity product, just to get an idea of specifically where this couplet is that the Weather Service has observed, and that they are sort of keeping an eye on and watching to see if there's any rotation. And it's very hard to see much of anything in there. You can actually make out a little bit. If you kind of move it around, you can actually see some of the greens, and you can actually see some of those reds side by side. But this is not a well-formed, well-defined couplet as far as couplets go. So I'm going to go ahead and move this around a bit, try to get in a little closer, try to see exactly where it is that they are watching for this. And it is just in here. It would be right in this area, right in here, that they are watching. And that is the area that they are watching. It's kind of a broad area of rotation that they're keeping an eye on. Let's switch gears. I'm going to go to another velocity product here and take a look at it and see exactly what it shows us, because sometimes you get the storm relative velocity with the storms. It's a little bit better with a tornado warning, but sometimes if it's in the direction of the radar, you're better to use just a plain product that is just showing you winds in, winds out. There's no spin, there's no crosswind to it. So anyway, this is what they are looking at. They're watching the winds inbound and outbound with the system, and they are watching this slow moving storm system. It's going about 15 miles an hour, and it is moving to the east. So this is not a fast moving storm system. We're going to go ahead and zoom in once again, and it is not a really well defined couplet as far as couplets go. You can't really see a whole lot going on there. In fact, it's probably better we'll go back to the storm itself, but it is in this general vicinity that they are watching. So there you go. There's Pittsgrove. You get this bright red, and you have the greens next to it, and that is where they're looking at this broad area of rotation. Now, until 2:30, we have this tornado warning. I'm going to go back over to the warnings themselves so you can get a good idea of exactly where this particular storm is. Let's go back. We're going to go ahead and draw another track on it. Actually, right now you can get a pretty good idea of where it's going. Again, it'll be in Clayton at 2:11. We are looking at this part of the storm being in Shirley at 2:15. Olivet at 2:29, Pittsgrove at 2:34, and Upper Deerfield at 2:44. It is moving at about 15 miles an hour, so it is moving very, very slowly, this particular storm. And here is where that tornado warning is. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little closer for you so you get an idea. There's a whole lot going on with this particular storm. This storm has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. It has flash flood warnings with it because it has dumped more than 2, 3, even in some places 4 inches of rain. It simply has not moved for hours on end. This is the tornado warning. This is the part of the storm that is tornado warned. And again, this warning is in effect until 2:30 today. This is radar indicated. Also, there will be hail associated with this. There has been quite a bit of hail. In fact, that is another part of our story, the intense lightning and the large hail that has been associated with this particular storm. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on so that you can get an idea of exactly where this storm is. It's right in here where you actually see that box, and where you actually see this little area is where they're seeing some rotation. If you really kind of take it out, you can see an edge, a little bit of a couplet to it. So right in here is where they're seeing the rotation with this particular storm. It's a broad area of rotation. This is not a well-defined, tight little couplet. Nonetheless, it is radar indicated, and because we do have the shear, the speed shear, the directional shear in the atmosphere today, and we do have the instability, tornadoes are possible. We do have a low wind risk that we have been placed under for tornadoes. Flash flooding is our #1 risk out there, and that's the one that we're really concerned with. But again, we have to watch for any spin-ups that may happen. At this point, it looks like maybe they've dropped it. Have they dropped the tornado warning? I'm looking to see. I'm not seeing it anymore, and they may have actually dropped that tornado warning and left a severe thunderstorm warning in place. Let's see what they have, and I think they have. I don't see it out there any longer. I'm going to go ahead and check. I'm going to go ahead and check with it because it's not popping up on any of these scans here to show us that there is a tornado warning. Bill just popped in. Bill, is that tornado warning dropped? Because I am not seeing it unless they are perhaps extending it or moving it someplace else, but I am not seeing the tornado warning any longer. And I know in the back they have it on a weather alert that they're looking at, but this is not showing up here. And so I'm going to go ahead and check, get a good idea. Yes, it's canceled. Okay, yes. So the tornado warning has been canceled. Again, it was a pretty broad area of rotation. The storm is still a very dangerous storm, and it is moving very slowly. It's training over the same spot again and again. That's why we get this flooding. It's moving very slowly at 15 miles an hour to the east. So this is dumping a lot of rain. Flash flooding is going to be a huge concern. We're looking at damaging winds possible and the hail. And I just wanted to go ahead and pull up the hail very quickly because along with the lightning, we do have these hail tracks out there. And a lot of people are going to be talking about this as we put it into motion, where you see that purple and even some of that blue. This is where they actually had that tornado warning start. And it is that bluish color where you would have the larger hail. And typically you would have a larger hail core if you had a tornado or rotation. And also the lightning along here. So this is all very dangerous. If you've got kids that are going to be coming home from school soon, make sure that they know to get into the house. Don't dilly-dally if they're walking, if they're going from the bus to the house. And also yourself, you want to get in if you are anywhere in the path of these storms. They have a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, hail, and damaging winds are possible. We're going to return you in just a moment to your programming, but I do want to show you this loop so you can get an idea of what's going on. This particular storm moving very slowly, a lot of flooding rains with it. We're going to return you to the programming. If we have another tornado warning, we'll cut in, or anything that is serious, more serious than that, of course, we'll cut in and we'll keep you updated. We'll be back here with another update at 3, and we will be here with you on the news at 4, 5, and 6 tonight.
District Attorney Larry Krasner has announced new developments in the killing of off-duty Philadelphia police officer Al-Hussein Barry. He was fatally shot on August 16th on Elmwood Avenue in the city's Eastwick neighborhood outside of a speakeasy called Nipsey's.